Hey family. Well, welcome to Teaching Tuesday, and it's like 11:30, and I'm gonna be quite honest, cause y'all know I like to be transparent. I was not about to do Teaching Tuesday today because I was in a mood where I just didn't feel like it, but I ended up having this encounter with someone today, and it really. God can meet you anywhere, okay? Like, even in the mall. So, Teaching Tuesday is about to come at you, and get ready, okay? So, today's Teaching Tuesday is about the Shunammite woman from 2 Kings chapter 4 and chapter 8. But we just gonna hop down to verse 6 in chapter 8, and here we go. And it says, and when the king asked the woman, she told him. So the king appointed a certain officer for her, saying, restore all that was hers and all the proceeds of the field from the day that she left until now. So I guess if I could title this, it would be called Everything is Going According to Plan. Okay? So Shunammite woman, she lives with her husband, and the prophet Elisha, whenever he comes through, she basically gives him a room in her house, make sure that he has everything that he needs, and then one day he's like, well, what can I do for you, because you do so much for me every time I come through. And she's like, I don't really want nothing, I'm cool or whatever. And they're like, where your son is? She's like, I ain't got no kids. And then the prophet Elisha prophesies over her, like, you're going to have a son. And lo and behold, she has a son, which is kind of unbelievable because her husband is old as dirt. Barely can get it up and stuff, But she has a son. And then her son ends up getting sick and he dies. Crazy, right? You get prophesied that this thing is going to happen, and then this thing dies. So, continuing on with the story, okay, Elisha comes in, and he prays over her child, and bim, bam, boom, her son is now alive. But, you get that little bit of happiness when things are starting to look up. But as soon as the son is alive, Elisha's like, look, a famine's about to happen over your land. You and your folks, y'all need to get up out of here and wait for it to pass. And this thing's going to last for 7 years. 7 years means completion. Ding, ding, ding. Okay? But when she has to leave everything behind, that means she has completely lost everything. So, baby died. A famine is happening. Have to leave the land. Then lost everything. Okay? So now we're about to get into the revelation. Alright? Now, babies typically represent like your ministry or the purpose that God had given you. And I told you guys I had been dealing with stuff, and sometimes I allow myself to slip down to my issues that I was pretty much allowing my baby, my purpose, to die. But because God gonna do what he gonna do, child. He brought it back to life, here we are. Okay? So brings her baby back to life, and now she has to leave because this famine is coming, okay? So she's leaving, which for me is leaving your comfort zone. Like I told you guys, I was used to living my life the way that I like to live it. And when I got laid off, I had to leave my comfort zone. And I had to go back to living another way. But look, it's according to plan. According to the plan. So this woman goes through the 7 years with losing everything except for the promise that God gave her. Listen, y'all, sometimes we get so boggled down in our struggles and like, God, why I gotta go through this? But realize that God promised you something, and you need to hold on to that. And it's very important that you do. And that woman held on to her promise. Her son was raised from the dead, and she held on to that. So when she got back to her land, the king was like, look, tell me about the good stuff that Elisha had done. And so she tells him, like, Elisha brought my son back from the dead. Like, he the real deal, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, well, because of that, you can have your land back and your house and all the money that was made off your land. You can have that too. See, when God takes you somewhere, it's not necessarily to break you down, but it's to set you up for the next level in life. When God takes something away from you, he's not going to take it away and not replace it with something better. Okay? Like, y'all, this Jane bless my soul. I'm here to encourage you at 12:05 in the morning that if you feel like you have lost everything, except for the promise or the purpose that God has given you. You hold on to that. In this time of stepping out of your comfort zone, in this time that there's a famine happening over here and now I gotta be over here, you hold on to that because God is going to restore you and so much more. Y'all, I told y'all I just started doing my Teaching Tuesdays again last week because I was in a place. I have 4 interviews this week. God will restore you and so much more. But you got to hold on to the promise that God had given you because everything is according to the plan. He's not going to take things away from you and not replace it with something better. But sometimes he just got to test your faith.